All right, guys, let's learn. Let's learn from other people today, man. Let's find out what's going on, man. The evils out here in the world. I think this is gonna be a dark one, so I'm not gonna turn on the light for this one. I think it fits the setting a little bit. All right, let's do this.
He gets his inheritance this afternoon. That's why we're moving. We're gonna pay all our bills off that we need to pay off, and then take a long vacation.
All right, so as you can see, the title it says "Evil Wife Poisons Husband to Steal 37 million US dollars." I'm assuming it's US dollars. 37. I'm not gonna lie. When I first about to click on this, I thought it said 37,000 because that would have been enough for me to watch it. But 37 million? Yo. Let me get the what you call it? The Wi-Fi. What you call it? The password? Oh, password? I give me one second. Hold up. Hold up. Let me get my boy the Wi-Fi password. I bet we bet my boy got the Wi-Fi. Let's learn what's going on here, man. Apparently, evil wife. She poisoned her husband. Let's see how that happened.
Less than 24 hours from this footage, Ina Thea husband, Steve Riley, was life-flighted to the hospital due to a sudden sickness that immobilized his body. Within an hour of being at the hospital, he would pass away.
I thought everybody.
Why my man in that picture, he had that look on his face, like, yeah, like, he had a look on his face, like,
within an hour of being at the,
like, yeah, man, yeah, I chose poorly, man. I know, I messed up, chose the wrong woman. You know, it happens. You know, stupid me.
the hospital, he would pass away.
He passed away?
Knew. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
What the cop doesn't realize at this time is that Ina is a very good actor, and she knows far more about Steve's sickness than she leads on.
Wait, they said he passed away? Damn, boy. That sucks.
You see, Steve was less than an hour away from cashing in a $37 million inheritance payment when he became fatally ill. And as the multi-week investigation would progress, detectives would quickly discover that Steve's death was due to poisoning. Someone had killed him, and everyone close to Steve all had dire needs to claim his newfound fortune. His newfound fortune quickly discovered that
people?
Steve's death was due to poisoning. Someone had killed him,
man.
and everyone close.
Oh, look at my. Wait, Trevor? Trevor, is that you? Is that Trevor from GTA 5? Yo, 37. They said 37 million. Yo, how do I get some of that? How do I get some of that 37 million? Yo, that's crazy. Yo, imagine like you come home from work. You know what I mean? Your mom, your wife made you some soup, some chicken noodle soup, and it just has a hint of like some extra flavor in there. You just can't put your finger on it. It's kind of antifreezes, kind of antifreeze-ish.
Close to Steve, all had dire needs to claim his newfound fortune by any means necessary.
Oh,
It's like 20-something million. Best thing you can do is get on a plane and don't look back.
oh my God, bro. You could retire very well off of that.
Police department. It's the police department. It's not Chad.
This
Chad?
podcast was recorded the
You talking about Chad Thundercock? Is Chad Thundercock here too? Oh my God, bro. Chad is ruining everybody's lives, bro. He's out there hooking up with everybody's wives. Chad Thundercock need to be stopped.
night before Steve Riley's death. Steve and Ina's drunken neighbor had been harassing them and other residents of the neighborhood, so Ina called 911 to de-escalate the situation. What makes this specific footage interesting is not the situation with their drunken neighbor, but rather what Ina would tell police after. Her $37 million inheritance fund that she's just hours away from cashing in.
Sorry.
You thought it was Chad?
Yeah.
Who was
He's
Chad on-
trying to kick in everybody's door.
Who was he
He
out here
was busted to my light and look at the garbage can.
Who was he fighting with out here?
My fiance. He went for a walk, cool down.
Who's your fiance?
Steve Riley.
Steve Riley?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Ina.
Okay. Is your fiance hurt at all?
Wait, the fiance went for a walk? Is he still alive at this time?
He got gash on his forehead.
Okay. You know, we just want to talk with him too, just to make sure he's all right if possible. There's blood all the way over there. That's good. So what actually happened tonight? What were they fighting over?
Chad was trying to kick in the door.
Just for no reason, or just
Drunk. He does that.
where do you think?
Yo, where do y'all live when that's just normal? He's drunk. He just does that. He's trying to kick in my door. This happens every week. Like this, every other day, Chad, that's how he knocks on the door. He just kicks in the door. Yo, watching this is just making me think like, yo, when I get rich, I'm only eating out. Like I'm only eating food out the house. Cause me, I don't even cook anymore. So I'm not even gonna play myself and say, yo, I'm only gonna eat what I cook. Like I used to cook a lot. I don't even cook like that anymore. But if I got 37 million, I ain't cooking never again. So I'm just gonna be eating at restaurants or whatever. Ain't nobody that I know personally is gonna be cooking for me.
Your fiance would have went, so we could just get his side of the story real quick.
Oh, I don't know.
So you got a phone on?
No, we don't have a phone until this afternoon.
But this is where Ina reveals something she shouldn't have.
What?
Their plans to pay off all of their bills, which had over the years been racking up. And she does this for one reason: to brag.
He gets his inheritance this afternoon. That's why we're moving. We're gonna pay all our bills off that we need to pay off. His lawyer gets here today at 2 to sign the paperwork for his money.
Okay.
And then
Why are you telling the police that? Did they ask?
he's gonna go pay that, and his lawyer gonna pay the rest of his.
Oh no, this stomach right here, this belly button it's I don't know, it's just doing something to my soul, and it doesn't feel good to my soul at all. I don't know what's going on here. This is I don't like it. What this muffin top? I don't know what's going on here, but it's just bothering me.
And then take a long vacation.
According to Ina,
Gonna take a long vacation in jail. I mean, assuming that they caught her.
Steve is set to receive an inheritance from his late uncle tomorrow, which supposedly is enough money to turn their lives around completely. What police don't realize at this time is how enormous this inheritance sum really is. In 2016, Steve's friend had received a call from a man named Marcus Riley, who claimed to be Steve's long-lost uncle from Ireland. He had explained that he finally wanted to get in touch with his nephew, Steve. After connecting with each other, Steve had learned he was in line to receive an inheritance upon his uncle's passing,
Oh, that's
which
fire.
was a sum of over $17 million at the time. This was enough to permanently fix the financial struggles he and Ina had been dealing with. A couple of years later, 4 months prior to the footage you just watched, Steve would learn of his uncle's passing from a British lawyer who had contacted him. Additionally, he would learn that his $17 million inheritance had grown to over $30 million due to his uncle's successful investments over the years.
That's fire.
That's why Ina cannot hold herself from boasting to the police. Tomorrow, they plan to meet with their lawyer to officially sign the documents and claim the $30 million inheritance fund. The two plan to take the money and live with Steve's long-lost family in Ireland, quote, living in the castles. In less than 24 hours, Ina will be rich. So as officers leave for the night, Ina would make one final statement about how her life was about to change forever.
If you want to step back inside, and then if Steve shows back up, we're going to try to look for him to get his side of the story as well. But if Steve shows back up, if you just want to give us a call or have him give us a call, we'll talk to him then, okay?
Yeah, he was gonna stop by anyways, like I said.
Sounds good.
I've only been able to put like $5 on his fines, but at least it was something.
Okay,
But-
sounds good.
We're gonna pay it all off all at once.
Perfect. Thank you.
Steve would return to his and Ina's apartment that night, and the two would patiently wait, not being able to sleep, as they counted down the hours until they would receive their millions. The plan to receive the funds was simple. At 2 p.m., the group would go to the airport to meet their lawyer, who was flying in with their inheritance paperwork.
Okay.
Ina and Steve obliged and would arrive at the airport alongside their two friends, Billy and Wes, before patiently waiting.
Why?
However,
Why
while-
you need that many people to go and do this? Why are so many people in your business, bro?
While they were waiting for the lawyer's arrival, Steve would become extremely sick. He would claim feeling drunk, even throwing up in the airport bathrooms. His heart rate was rapidly increasing, and his condition worsened to the point where Wes decided to take him home to help him treat his sickness. Ina would wait at the airport for the lawyer to arrive. However, he would never show up. And after a couple of hours with no lawyer, no money, and a sick fiancé, she would return home as well. Everyone believed that Steve had suffered from a
Wait, he's just a fiance? They're not fully married? So if he's a fiance and he dies, I mean, they're not legally married, so the money wouldn't go to her, right? Wouldn't they have to be like legally married?
heat stroke as a result of working on his truck for hours that morning. But Steve's symptoms were far more fatal than the heat strokes he had received in the past, even experiencing fatal signs of kidney failure throughout the night. And in the morning, Steve would become completely unresponsive, forcing Ina to call 911.
911,
What?
what's the nature of your emergency?
My husband's really sick. He got heat stroke yesterday, and now he's not waking up. And come on, wake up!
What's the phone number
Hey!
you're calling from?
I don't have a phone number.
What?
It's a phone that never got finished getting set up. Come on, babe. I've been trying everything. Ice, water.
Okay, but he is breathing.
Yes, he's snoring. He won't talk to me anymore. He won't look at me. He won't open his eyes.
Okay,
Hey!
I've got help on the way. Just keep an eye on his breathing, and if anything changes with his breathing, tell me immediately.
Hello? Yeah.
Wait, you know, now I'm wondering, did she poison him or did somebody else? Because I would think that if she poisoned him, then she would wait for him to be completely gone before calling the police, right? He's still breathing, he's snoring in the background, and she's calling the police. Maybe she wasn't the one who poisoned him. I'm not saying that she didn't want him gone, but maybe somebody else wanted him gone, and maybe she also wanted him gone too, but maybe she's not aware that somebody else poisoned him already. Or maybe she had nothing to do with this at all and wasn't interested in him getting put out.
It's Officer Sullivan, Minot PD.
Inside the home, officers would find Steve fully unresponsive, and they would drag him out of the house through piles of trash and filth. Quickly, he was rushed
Yo, they was living nasty.
to the nearest hospital, but with his condition so poor, he would be flown to the St. Alexis Hospital to undergo more professional treatment. But before we get to that, I want to help you protect yourself and your family from
Yo, we appreciate you, Dr. Insanity. We appreciate you, bro.
time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. After Steve was flown to the hospital, Ina would explain to the officers that Steve had gotten a heat stroke, which caused his illness.
Yo, Dr. Insanity doing their thing, bro. I'm not gonna lie, they doing their thing. Like them, explore with us. They're like, as far as like true crime, Dr. Insanity, explore with us, and 48 hours are like my favorite channels to watch right now. You guys are killing it right now.
The officers had no reason not to believe her story, so they would comfort her throughout the day as Steve was being treated. Unfortunately, Steve would never again regain consciousness.
Damn, bro.
This is Billy Burkhead, Steve and Ina's neighbor, and he was with Steve and Ina the entire day of his sudden sickness.
Yo, why your neighbor in your business as far as like, oh yeah, we about to cash in 37 million. Yep. Around 2 o'clock today, we're gonna go sign the papers. We're gonna get that, and we're gonna get the head up out of this dump. Yeah. Ireland. Yeah, I know it's kind of far, but you know, it's a castle waiting for us. So it's just waiting for a king to come and sit down. Yep. That's what's gonna happen today. 2 o'clock p.m. I'm gonna sign my papers, and we're gonna get up on out of here. Yep. Yeah, gonna change my life, man. Yep. Why y'all be telling y'all business to everybody? This guy look like Trevor from GTA 5, bro. Don't tell me he's the one that killed him.
Working on the truck with Steve and traveling with him to the airport. Billy simply refused to believe that Steve's death was caused by heat stroke, especially since Steve seemed perfectly fine all day until they reached the airport. Instead, Billy suspected something far more sinister and wanted to share his theory with the detectives. So, the day after Steve's death, Billy would call officers back to apartment 912A to detail his side of the story.
We think she poisoned him.
Oh, okay. Maybe he wasn't a part of it. We think she poisoned. He said we, like him and his wife. Or I'm almost sure she poisoned him. Yo, hold up. Okay, this got good. Hold up.
Detail his side of the story.
We think she poisoned him. Oh, I'm almost sure she poisoned him.
So what's your plan right now?
We're making sure nothing goes. Because you know when they go to jail, they die.
I mean,
People come and clean them out.
how long are you going to stay here?
I'm going to stay here until the sun gets here.
Oh. When's the son supposed to get here?
I'm not dead. I told you.
Stop!
He's not.
He's dead. And he was poisoned.
Billy's explanation for Steve's death is, well, horrifying. If Ina truly did poison Steve, then his symptoms would make sense, and would add up far more than the idea of him having a heat stroke. However, why would Ina want to poison her husband if they were about to live such a good life? Well, Billy...
Sick. She would have lived that good life with somebody else, bro. She thinking like, you know what? I'm gonna be a sugar mama now. I'm gonna be a certified sugar mama. A CSM, bro. Certified sugar mama. I could buy me a little young thing. You know what I mean? A little 21-year-old savage. And live the rest of my life. You know, 21-year-old savage. 21-year-old savage. You know, 21 Savage, he's out there in like the UK. That's where he was born, right? So she about to go over to Ireland. I know it's not the UK, but she about to go over to Ireland, find herself a 21 Savage, and just, you know, live the rest of her days, bro. Sugar mommying up, man. Well, a little sugar baby.
Seems to have the exact answer to that question.
The other day, she threw all the stuff out in the yard.
From his house?
Yeah, and he come out and he was holding his head down. And then we're supposed to go up to the airport and meet this guy because he's supposed to get quite a bit of money. Come back, we had to help him out of the car, had to help him in the house. And everything was fine until he come home. And then the next morning, she's throwing all this stuff out. She was supposed to call the ambulance. She never called the ambulance.
Billy thinks that Ina was secretly planning to split with Steve after the inheritance was received, even going so far as to throw his belongings out of the house after they returned from the airport. Even worse is that Ina lied about getting help for Steve after they returned from the airport, pretending to take him to get treated when in reality, they never left the house. Unfortunately, Ina overheard all of this talk and decided to give Billy a piece of her own mind.
I'm taking off. I'm not worthy of my husband. Dead or alive.
Hey, stay out here. Hey, stay out here.
I need to take a picture.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this place looks crazy. It looks like a damn, like this garage right here looks like a mechanic spot. Like I know a mechanic spot that looks kind of like this. It's like it looks like trash electronics all over the place. Could they be tinkering and stuff like that? But she looks like she looks trashy, like crazy trash. She walking around barefoot? She walking around barefoot? No way she's walking around barefoot.
I'm taking off. I'm not worthy of
She's walking out here barefoot. Like what? Yo, where is this? This is filthy, bro. Oh my goodness. She had that cigarette in her hand.
Hey, stay out here.
I need to take a picture.
Picture of what?
Building.
Why'd
Here,
you?
with truck.
Oh, you can sit over here.
Steve collapsed yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the hospital. I found out it was poisoned.
What?
How'd you find that out?
Doctor told me. I'm just telling you, son, don't ever stop after these people. They're nasty people. They're nasty.
Ina coincidentally seemed to put the blame on the neighbors, calling them evil people. It's become more clear that Steve's death was far more sinister than officers had first expected. Officers now had a potential homicide case to investigate, but as they went to leave, one officer accidentally broke the news to Ina that her fiancé had passed away.
I thought everybody knew. I'm sorry.
Don't tell me anything. Oh my God!
I guess the son is on his way here. Okay. Apparently the son is on the way here. So.
Son better put them all in prison.
Ina's reaction to her husband's passing is one of the strangest I've ever seen. She starts bawling her eyes out, then suddenly jumps right back to her normal self, as if she hadn't even heard the terrible news to begin with. It's becoming more and more clear that something is not adding up. Billy was not the only person to initially put the blame on Ina. In fact, he was only one of many who would come forward with their concerns. In fact, Billy's wife, Lynn, had stated that Ina had made horrifying statements in the past, alluding that if she was to ever kill her partner, she would poison him, using an antifreeze. To add to the pile...
Ooh, so I'd be talking. I'd be yapping. And I bet you the toxicology probably points at antifreeze. I wouldn't be surprised. Compound analysis, ethylene, glycol. This is probably ingredients for antifreeze, I bet you.
Pile of already incriminating information, Steve would be tested for ethylene glycol in his bloodstream, a key ingredient in antifreeze. To nobody's surprise, the results showed toxic levels of ethylene glycol in his system. This information would serve as the catalyst for initiating a formal homicide.
Is that her husband? What's this, Halloween?
Investigation into the death of Steve Riley. Following the commencement of the investigation, a series of intensive interrogations would be conducted with all parties connected to the incident, including Ina, to ultimately solve Steve's murder. However, before that, Ina would launch a plan of her own. It must have been made apparent to her that she was in hot water, as the day after this encounter with the police, she would call them back to apartment 912A to explain theories of her own.
Hi.
Yeah. He came up.
Okay, what's going on?
I don't know.
We've been
He keeps
here.
trying to take Steve's truck
Where's the truck at?
in the garage.
Is this the paperwork on the thing? Or?
No. This is property that Steve was buying
Oh.
after his inheritance got here. I think he left it to his son, but I had to Google where to go to get his inheritance switched over to the people he left it to. I don't know. The day he was supposed to meet his lawyer, apparently, I thought it was heat stroke. Apparently he was poisoned. I'm finding out. With antifreeze.
All right.
And I don't know how to get a hold of the guy in London with his inheritance. You should.
Wait. Why is she telling this to the police? Is she trying to accuse somebody? Like, I don't understand what she's telling them. He was poisoned with antifreeze, and right now sounds like her priority is to get in contact with the inheritance lawyers to get the money to who it was supposed to go to. So she's trying to get the money to his son, or she's trying to get the money for herself.
They're in town. He never showed up at the airport. Yeah. Trying to figure out why.
Ina
So why are you asking the police? You know, something to think. Was she thinking like, all right, we got this thing to do with these people at the airport for the inheritance, right? Signing the papers for that. So was she thinking, you know what? When we signed that stuff, then we got it. So you know what? Let me poison him now. Like, so that way, by the time we get over there, sign the paperwork, and all that's done, he'll be basically like gone. He'll pass away either later that day or the next day. Was that her whole mindset? Like, let me start the process, get the ball rolling before we sign off on all of this. And then obviously her plan may have messed up once she got there and realized that, hey, they didn't show up. And now he's about to die and they didn't show up. So now what? Is that what happened? Did she like put the cart before the horse? Did she like, let me poison him? And maybe she thought that it wouldn't start to take effect until after the signing? I don't know.
To conspire to the idea that Steve may have drank the antifreeze himself, or that someone may have poisoned him. However, despite all the suspicion being thrown her way, she can only stay on track for minutes before going back on tangents about her inheritance fund. It was clear at this point that somebody had poisoned Steve. The idea of this being self-inflicted was unlikely, as Steve had a life-changing amount of money waiting for him, and would have had to drink the antifreeze just hours before going to claim the cash. Clearly, Ina can be made out as the lead suspect due to the amount of fingers being pointed her way, but the other potential suspects should not be ruled out either. With this in mind, officers would bring their first suspect in for questioning, Rebecca. Rebecca was another neighbor of Ina and Steve's who was very involved with the entire case so far, pitching her opinion to police whenever she could. Rebecca was brought in primarily to add to the pile of evidence to confront Ina with later, but as the interview would continue, strange red flags would arise from Rebecca's odd personality.
You guys know my daughter?
Kayla? Yeah, how's she doing?
Yesterday, God works in mysterious ways. She was arrested, released. She said, this is, the demons that are in her, the spirits that follow her, was able to change her butt cheeks.
What?
So maybe they'll stop following her now, she said.
Yeah, well, hopefully she gets the help she needs.
I pray she does.
Starting off a homicide interview,
what does that mean?
Explaining how demons left your daughter's butt is an interesting way of proving your innocence. But the detective isn't here to judge, rather, to get to the bottom of Steve's death, so he'll ignore these strange remarks.
It sounds like you might know some things.
I'm a nosy neighbor.
That's good.
Oh my God. I wonder if this is gonna be a nosy neighbor in a good way, like, cause the idea of a nosy neighbor, I hate that, bro. I hate that. Like, just mind your damn business, bro. Like, your life is so boring that you got to be watching my life. Like, it's one thing if I'm putting my life on display to entertain you, and you're watching my life for entertainment. That's one thing, but if I'm not putting my life on display for you, like, why are you so involved in my life? But hopefully this is in a good way. Maybe she overheard something that can help solve this situation.
I know what cars belong, what cars don't, who lives in my neighborhood, who doesn't.
Yeah.
So yes.
That's good. we're investigating Steve's passing just because it sounds like maybe there's something
I
suspicious about
all
what
I
happened.
know, whatever I know.
How long have Steve and Ina lived there that you know of?
Approximately 2 years.
Okay. How is their relationship that you know?
The first year was, Steve was looking great, doing great. The past year, I don't know if she suffers from mental illness at times, but her mental state went downhill the past year.
Okay.
When you lose weight, when you're not acting right, shady stuff going on, you're not working. Yes, he was.
Okay.
And it got worse the past couple months.
Okay.
It seems as though Steve's life wasn't as straightforward as initially thought, having drug issues, weight loss, and possibly depression. Whether or not Ina was a large contributor to these deteriorating issues is something they will soon learn, as this interview would become a pivotal piece of evidence, laying the groundwork to dismantle her defense entirely during the interrogation.
And it got worse the past couple months.
You think likely that theme,
Probably.
like whatever. Okay.
Yes.
Damn,
Do you
bro.
think she was using?
Yeah.
Okay.
And alcohol use too.
Hey, so both of them were
Both
using
of them
meth?
with alcohol? Okay. So Steve had mentioned before, like in the past, about getting money.
Yes.
How many? Like
2 million.
The amount Steve had planned to receive was something he kept very secret, often lying to people like Rebecca on how much he was actually getting.
Now, I mean, good job on trying to like not let your neighbors know all your business, but 2 million is still a lot of your business, bro. 2 million is still a lot of your business. If you're gonna get an inheritance of like talking millions, you keep that shit to yourself, bro. Bro, I wouldn't even tell my wife that. I wouldn't even tell my wife that. One day she'll just start realizing we're living better. And I'll be like, oh, I got a raise. My manager is finally acknowledging me. He's understanding that I am an important piece to this puzzle, and I am finally getting the recognition that I deserve. Now pass me the keys to the to the Lamborghini. Thank you, honey. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is like, I'm not saying you gotta keep everything a secret even to your family, but something like that, money is weird, bro. People get very, very, very weird over money. Loyalty becomes very, very, like, blurry. Like the line of loyalty, it gets very blurry when like the more money involved, the blurrier the lines get, So even with someone like your spouse, you got to be careful with that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even tell my wife. I mean, unless something happened where she had to find out. But if she didn't have to find out, I wouldn't even told her, bro.
As we'll soon find out, this number was much, much larger than 2 million.
His uncle passed away. Yes. First, he said he was going to leave it to Ina, and then they were fighting. And a couple months later, he said he went back and changed the will. He told me, he was like, don't tell Ina, but I changed it.
This statement from Rebecca would explain what Ina was talking about last time she spoke to police, and how she was trying to switch the will over from Steve's son to herself.
Wow.
If Ina discovered his plan, it would have given her a strong incentive to do whatever it took to change the will back in her favor, possibly by any means necessary.
Because it started 5 months, and he told me, yeah, I got a will, I'm leaving everything to Ina if something happens. And then it seemed like 2 months after that, he's like, that ain't getting nothing. Because she's a bitch, he said.
So that was just a...
Yep, that's how yeah.
Why would you leave it to her? I mean, is that his wife or his fiance? I don't get it. They keep switching it back and forth, bro. I would have left it to my kids, bro. I would have left it to my kids. Like, why would I leave it to her, bro? Like, come on, bro. And then just tell your kids, make sure she's taken care of. I would have done that. I'm gonna leave it to my kids, and make sure she's taken care of. Unless she's the mother of your kids, you should be leaving that to your kids. If she's not the mother of your kids, then give that to your kids, bro.
we ever talking about leaving Ina?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna get this money and leave her, get my own place, go back to California.
Okay.
I met her son last night.
Oh, okay. Her son came?
No, I'm sorry, his son.
Steve's son, yeah.
I'm all.
That's okay.
He flew in. He came up to my apartment. But as he's leaving, she came up, knocked on my door.
When he was up?
Yeah,
Okay.
to get him. I think she was nervous. It was like she was pissed he was up there. And then she's like, I just want to let you know I found the will papers.
So she said in front of you, though, that she found will papers?
Yes. Yep.
Ina clearly had become obsessed with the idea that she was about to live the life of her dreams with Steve's inheritance. But
Nah, I feel that, because if I found out about that kind of money, I would be thinking about that shit every day, bro. If I found out that I was gonna be getting 37 million, shit, if it was just 17 million, at the age that they are, you can clearly see they are probably like in their 50s, like late 50s. You know what I mean? They look like they're in their late 50s. Yo, 17 million, bro. If you're not doing too much as far as lifestyle go, you can live off that for the rest of your life. At that age, you can live off that for the next 20, 30 years. I mean, I don't know how inflation is going to work, but maybe you find somebody who can help you invest it, so that way you'll have something growing, not just sitting in a bank. You know what I mean? Somebody put like $1 million aside for somebody to invest for you. I mean, they can take a cut of the investment, but you know what I mean? You don't have to do nothing with that. You just have somebody else handle that. You know? You be good, bro.
after rumors of Steve leaving her, it seems Ina became terrified that she might not receive the funds and would be stuck with her depressive living conditions. It's now become obvious how these events and Steve's strange death could be correlated to one another. However, as Rebecca had stated herself, she was a nosy neighbor, looking for any rumors or conspiracy theories to help solve the neighborhood drama. I've also cut out over 40 minutes of completely false information Rebecca gave to detectives, which certainly doesn't add to her authenticity.
Thank you.
In order to further confirm the accuracy of these claims, 2 more reliable sources would be brought in the following day: Steve's son Ryan and Billy Burkhead.
I want to hear from the son.
If anyone would be able to give proper insight into Steve's life, it would be these 2, as they were by far the closest people to Steve.
We're assigned the case of your dad's passing. You're really the only next of kin that's maybe had a relationship with your dad, it sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he ever talk to you about Eno when you guys talked in the last year?
Yeah. He was talking about how he was getting a large sum of money and he kind of just wanted to leave her because she didn't really have a job and was like leeching off of him.
Did Steve ever talk about leaving Eno?
All the time.
Okay.
Every day. She talked about poisoning Steve and me because we're always together, and she didn't like that. And I don't know how much it was. It's supposed to be. It's way up there in the money. It was like 20-something million. Best thing you can do is get on a plane and don't look back.
Yeah.
I said that's the best thing you can do.
Almost every piece of information the detectives receive leads straight to Ina as the killer. It also makes sense why Ina hated Billy and Steve's son so much, as they knew far more information than she would have liked about the inheritance and her schemes to obtain it. These interviews wouldn't last long, as detectives got all the information they needed from the 2 and could directly confront Ina with it. But before leaving, they would break disturbing news to Ryan, which would make this case even more of a terrible tragedy.
So this inheritance now, I'm thinking that's the same thing we're thinking. Which, I mean, I obviously don't know for sure, but by all accounts of looking at it, it looks like it's a scam. Looks like it's the letter has different fonts in it and things, and the fact that your dad had gone there several times to meet with some lawyer, never showed up to the airport.
That and all the emails that they tried to send back to the sender of those emails, it always came back undeliverable.
The inheritance was a scam.
What?
Steve had lived for the past 7 years under the impression that if he just patiently waited, living through his terrible living conditions, he would come out with more money than he could dream of and finally enjoy life. Even worse was that this very scam that stagnated his life for years may have been the cause of his very own death.
No way.
With such a
Was it them Nigerians sending you text messages on like WhatsApp with the phone numbers that have like 18 digits in it? No way. No way. This was a scam. You know what's so funny? It didn't even cross my mind that it would be a scam because I'm thinking, I mean, white people, you know, they have like family trees that have plenty of time as far as like privilege to accumulate and basically grow like generational wealth. You know, minorities in certain areas, we just started within the last 100 years. We just started being able to start that family lineup, you know what I mean, of generational wealth. So I'm thinking, maybe he does. Maybe it's possible that he might have some rich white dude, and even out the damn country, whatever, that has no kids, and his next of kin is his nephew who just happened to be in the States. My thing is like, how do they know that he would have an uncle out in Ireland? Or was this guy so stupid that they didn't give him any information that he felt was worth actually like doing some research in? Did he just hear, oh, I'm gonna get some money from you guys? Oh yeah, man, I miss you, Unc. Does he even have an uncle over there? Does he even have an uncle? Like, yo. Oh man, bro. I don't even know why I'm surprised. They said this guy does meth. He's a meth addict. It probably doesn't even take that much explanation to make him believe that this is happening. Dear Steve, I'm currently en route to Minot and should be landing at 1:55 p.m. Please ensure you are at Terminal 3. Arrivals by 2 p.m. as planned. I have the inheritance paperwork ready for signing. Bring any required identification or documents for verification. What kind of scam is this where they got to meet you in person?
For years, may have been the cause of his very own
No
death.
way, this is a scam,
With such
bro.
a pity of a case, detectives would go on to interview a handful of other suspects in order to get as much information as they possibly could to help break down Ina's defense. And after multiple days of interviews, the day finally came to confront Ina with everything they've gathered. But despite all this evidence against her, officers knew they would have a hard time prosecuting Ina without a confession or incriminating statements, and that's exactly what they were determined to get. Inside this cut-down 1.5-hour interview, you'll see some of the most clever interrogation tactics I've ever shown on this channel.
Ooh, it's about to get juicy, y'all. But yo, real quick. So she possibly killed her husband, who was someone apparently she was leeching off of because they're saying that she has no job. I mean, considering now that this is actually a scam and there's no money to be found, it probably would be in her best interest to just go to jail for the rest of her life, because then she'll get 3 meals a day, and you know, she won't be a homeless person put out on the street at her age. So, you know what I mean? That's probably the best option I could think, to try to look at this on the bright side, because I don't think freedom is gonna do too well for her. You know, especially if you don't have no job, and at this age, I mean, people aren't really hiring this age for anything worth doing, I would say. Unless you're gonna be a Walmart greeter, maybe checking receipts at the exit, maybe.
Slowly dismantling Ina's story until all she has left is an incoherent string of lies.
So, like I said, we have been just talking to everyone, like Billy, Wes, everybody that kind of just knew Steve, just to get an idea of like what was going on in his life. So, you and Steve were in a relationship.
Yep.
Okay, how long had you guys been together?
13 years.
Okay. Where did you guys meet?
Homeless shelter.
In
buffet dinner.
They met in a homeless shelter, bro. A homeless shelter. Yo, y'all made it out the mud, bro. Y'all made it out the mud, got a place together. Stuck it out for like 13 years. And you hear about some money. And you decide, like, you know what? I want to see if I can steal that money from you. Because you don't deserve it. Like, y'all made it out the mud, bro. Why not just enjoy that together? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't going to leave her. Maybe she felt like he was going to leave her once he got the money, didn't trust him. Maybe that's why she did it, to try and take the money from him, because she probably felt like, nah, I'm not about to be out here homeless again while you over there living off of 30 million and with some sugar babies. I can see it. I see it. Y'all don't see it? I see it.
In North Dakota?
Washington.
In Washington, okay.
I'm not saying she's right, but
Detectives
I
would
understand.
go on to get more information about Ina and Steve's early relationship, but it wouldn't last long before Ina would start conspiring against Billy and others she wanted to paint as suspects.
And I begged him to, stay away from him. We've even gotten into fights.
To stay away from Lynn?
Billy and Lynn.
Okay.
I don't like calling people nasty. And they've seen them worse than Steve because he's tall and mean looking. People were intimidated by him.
Okay.
Just by his look.
So why would you want him to stay away from Billy and Lynn?
Because they're really, really nasty people.
Okay.
Felonies. Breaking into places.
Okay.
I knew they did more than pot. Smoking more than pot.
Did Steve smoke more than marijuana?
No, he's allergic to marijuana.
Okay.
Me.
Did he use other drugs?
Not for the longest time.
Was he using?
No.
Okay. So
no.
He didn't.
After that, after he got the max the last time.
Yep.
He's like, screw this.
Okay.
I'm gonna just do what I want and want what I want.
Okay. So that's when he started using?
I think so.
Okay.
This would be the first of Ina's lies during this interrogation. She knew Steve had been using long before the incident she described, but in order to make Billy seem like the villain in their lives, she wanted to make it seem as though he was the reason for Steve's drug use. Take note of Ina's body language while she clearly lies. She glances up and avoids eye contact, constantly fidgets and scratches her skin, and most notably, stutters and slurs on her speech as she tries to make up a story. Keep this in mind for the rest of the interrogation, and you'll be able to accurately point out when Ina isn't telling the truth. But now, the police would ask her perhaps the most intriguing question. What exactly did she plan to do with the inheritance money?
So when did he find out about this inheritance?
I want to say 4 months ago.
Okay. So what is the inheritance? I know you had shown that first day Lieutenant Dake and I came, you showed us kind of that letter that was on Steve's phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's the inheritance? That was the letter? Okay.
And he was talking to an actual lawyer, I guess.
Okay.
From London.
So this lawyer reached out to him and said he's...
I guess. I don't even know how he found out about it. It just appeared. Yeah. And he was reading that the money wasn't cursed or whatever. Every single person that went for the Riley money over there, even this 21-year-old, had passed away.
Clearly, Ina is running out of resources to take suspicion off herself, and the detectives won't take long before making her abundantly aware of how horrible of a liar she is.
Wait.
But for now...
Did she just say that the money seems like it was cursed because every time somebody tried to get the money, they end up passing away? Is he trying to say that maybe the people who were sharing this information about an inheritance may have somehow killed her husband, or her fiance? Somehow got a hold of him, got close enough to him to be able to poison him? Is that what she's trying to say?
Now, they'd like to get some more information on this inheritance, and if Ina would admit to trying to claim it all for herself.
How much money was it?
It ended up, it was supposed to be 17 million, 17,500,000. So, but with all the property sold off, it ended up being 37 million.
So there was cash and then properties were sold.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I gave all the information
who was it supposed to be coming from? Who was the family member?
Marcus something Riley.
Was that a brother or
uncle?
That was an uncle. Okay. Did he live
in Ireland?
Okay. How does it get to? Is it starting to be that the lawyer is starting to give him like a time that he's coming to Minot?
Yeah. That's pretty much when he kept saying, "I'm going to show up at this time," and Steve would ride down there, and he wasn't there.
Yo, did they ever talk to the dude over the phone? Was this all just emails and text messages? I don't find that to be suspicious. Now, don't get me wrong. I went down a couple rabbit holes, like over a decade ago, with people sending. I don't know what was the form of contact. I don't know if it was emails or some kind of messaging service. But I was younger. Internet was still kind of new, I guess. These texting softwares, whatever, still kind of new. So in those early stages, everybody was a little wet behind their ears, kind of like just going along with the flow with anything that got sent their way digitally. But this all this stuff happened just a couple years ago, right? Like people still getting caught with this stuff, like the Nigerian scammers. I don't know if it's Nigerian, but I know it's like the African scammers that be hitting you up on like WhatsApp. Those are the ones that I still see them to this day, bro.
And then you get the email afterwards that he was going to come and tell.
They might not all be African, but I remember a couple of the African ones. They be trying to sell you a house or something. They be doing the most, bro.
Later and then later.
Okay.
The detectives would spend the next 25 minutes trying to understand Ina's timeline for the day they planned to receive the inheritance. Whenever she gave a time for when the group went to the airport, she would conveniently change that time entirely, just a few minutes later. But one detail would stay the same. Unlike her original claims to officers on the day of the murder, she would insist that Steve had never gone to the airport, but rather Wes had gone instead to represent Steve. This was confusing, but
Who's
Ina's
Wes?
reason as to why Steve couldn't make it to the airport would make just as little sense.
Because he was drinking beer all day, he was working in the garage, he was spray painting his truck, with the doors and the windows closed, barely drinking any water.
So he consumed almost a case of beer and.
Oh, he can drink more than that.
Pay attention to Ina here. She's carefully crafting a story to deflect suspicion, but the detectives came prepared.
I've seen him drink a couple cases.
But on that day.
Yeah, it was a case of beer.
From probably 6 or 7 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, so 5 to 6 hours. Does that sound right?
Probably.
Okay. Did you drink anything else?
Just a glass of water and his tea. I made iced tea because he begged for iced tea.
Steve had no traces of alcohol in his system the day of his death, proven by a blood test and toxicology. So detectives know, clearly, Ina is lying through her teeth.
So I just have a lot of concerns here, okay, and I'm just going to be honest with you. You told the paramedics when they were there that morning or afternoon that he had been drinking till 5 in the morning, that he had been consuming alcohol. That's on body cam. Okay, you said he was drinking all day the day before and that he drank his last drink at 5 a.m. Okay, and now you're telling me
tea.
That's not what you say on this video, okay?
I want to see this video.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show you the body cam. I'm just telling you that that's what's on there. There's reports that Wes came to the house that morning and you said that Steve was at the walk-in clinic. He wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
Steve didn't want to see Wes anymore.
Okay, but Steve wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
He was at the hospital.
He wasn't at the hospital.
He just left with the ambulance when Wes showed up there.
That's not what's been reported to us. Wes was there prior to.
Yeah, the timestamps prove that.
I want a lawyer.
Okay, that's fine.
Realizing she's running out of options to defend herself, and with the detectives closing in, Ina resorts to something surprisingly clever as a last-ditch effort, asking for a lawyer.
Am I being arrested?
Nope, you're not being arrested. We're just talking. So, but if you want a lawyer, we can stop talking right now. That's fine.
But I'm telling you the God honest truth. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I wish I was with him every second of the day that day. I wish I watched every single, but I'm not his goddamn mom.
You asked for a lawyer, Ina, so we're just gonna end this now. Okay, I'm not gonna talk anymore. All right.
You guys are so unbelievable. Fucking weird.
The second Ina realized the detectives saw right through her story, she folded under the pressure and insisted on a lawyer.
She folded.
Ina had finally realized her game was over. Following this interrogation, Ina would roam free while detectives scrambled for concrete evidence that she had poisoned Steve. Ina would continue fighting for her innocence, making more deranged theories, such as Steve drinking the antifreeze out of shame that the lawyer was a fraud, or that she had too been poisoned just months prior. Unfortunately for her, police managed to file a search warrant on apartment 912A, finding multiple alarming items.
What is this? What is this? What is in that? Yo, looks like y'all got too much clothes, bro. Sometimes you just gotta get rid of stuff, bro. Just throw it away, give it away. I understand you was homeless before, so you probably just appreciate everything you have. But if you don't have nowhere to put it, bro, just get rid of it, bro. Look, what is this? You got clothes all up here, all up here. What is this a bucket? Is it like a laundry bucket or something? And then you got this I'm concerned about. I don't know what this is.
An old Windex bottle without a cap, containing a bright green liquid suspected to be antifreeze, as well as a Coors Light bottle containing antifreeze, found in the garage Steve had been working in that morning. This exact Coors Light bottle was what Ina used to poison Steve with. Antifreeze contains ethylene glycol, an ingredient that makes the liquid taste sweet. By mixing this with tea, Steve was fully unable to tell this fatal substance apart from his typical morning tea. Additionally, by hiding the liquids in the dark Coors Light bottle, Steve was unable to see the bright green color of this drink. With all of this newfound, completely incriminating evidence, as well as the numerous lies and false claims Ina had told law enforcement, she would finally be arrested on October 30th, 2024.
Oh God!
When? October when?
Claims Ina had told law enforcement she would finally be arrested on October 30th, 2024.
No way. She did all that and then got caught up like just 5 months ago. Not even 5 months ago. That was like 4 months ago. Wow. This happened recent. All this happened recent? In October? Wait, in October? It's snowing like this in October? Where they at where it's snowing like this in October? Nah, you gotta see. I see why they're trying to get out of there. No way, bro.
Oh God!
I know.
Please lock up my house.
Yeah, we'll lock up the house for you.
I'll give you the keys, but
We'll lock your house up for you.
why me?
So right.
Huh?
We let you smoke a cigarette. You're gonna be decent.
Oh, I think that's the same cop that the guy with the little tattoo on his neck. I think that's the same cop that that was like interrogating her, right? This guy right here. Yeah, I think that's the same guy. He had a tattoo on his neck, I think, in the interrogation room.
We let you smoke a cigarette. You're gonna be decent.
Oh, I'm decent all the time.
No, I never dealt with you, so Just on
Never been arrested before like this.
Never been arrested before like this, or you just never been arrested before? Which is it? Like this means you've been arrested before. I don't. What's the difference?
I've never done anything. I haven't done anything. It seems like I'm an easy scapegoat. Because all I am is an easy scapegoat. That's all I've ever been. If I was gonna kill him, I would have killed him the day he lied to me and I found out he was doing drugs.
Yeah, so this man grab your arm so you don't fall, right?
And I would have done it physically, not.
Physically?
Yeah, I'm a physical woman, not a.
Nobody out here to watch the dogs? Just you? No friends or
There's
anything?
only one here.
You have any friends at work that would take them? We just don't want them to die in there, right?
Why? How long are you holding me?
We don't know. So we'll have our officers grab the dogs. We'll put a hold on them, all right?
6 months following Ina's arrest, she would sit down in the courtroom for one final time, accepting a plea deal for the murder of Steve Riley. It had been a matter of principle for Ina throughout this entire investigation, staying true to her word no matter how delusional it sounded. But in this courtroom, Ina was left with no choice but to finally confess. Ina Thea Knoyer was charged with murder, intentional, knowing, or with extreme indifference of an adult victim. She was sentenced to life in prison. Her first chance at probation will come in 2050.
So her first chance at probation, that's in about 25 years. She looks like she's like 60. 25 years from now, she's going to be in her late 70s. That's crazy, bro. See, these damn scammers, bro. You just ruined somebody's life, man. I mean, their life was already trash. You see how they was living, and it's not so much of just how they was living that was trash, cause you can be living in filth and still be somewhat happy, but he was living with filth with somebody that he wasn't happy with, and she wasn't happy with him, and they was doing all types of hard drugs and just living a real grimy life. And then he had like this, oh my God, I think I got, I got struck with gold. I got some money coming to me from somebody I never met. He says I'm his nephew, and I just said, all right, bet. Like, nephew, I ain't got no uncle. You sure? Because my nephew, it says your name, and you're supposed to get $37 million from me when I pass away. $37 million? Okay, uncle. Uncle what? Uncle Wiley? Riley with an R. Oh, Uncle Riley. Yeah, Uncle Riley. Yeah. So when's the family reunion? You know what I mean? Like, situations like that, when you living like that, anything that looks like good news, you're probably not going to look too deep into figuring out if it really is good news. You're just going to just be thankful for whatever comes your way that sounds positive. And obviously that's, I guess to him, it didn't seem like it was too good to be true. All that money that was coming his way. They just believed it easily. I'm not surprised, because look, they look like some real dirty hillbilly types. You know what I mean? Druggy, hillbilly, walking outside barefoot with a cigarette in your hand, just nasty work. But and then she was dumb enough to not really, I guess, question it, and then the poisoning him and killing him for something that wasn't even real. Well, like I said earlier, she's probably gonna live the rest. Well, looks like she's gonna live the rest of her life in prison, and obviously without that guy, because apparently she was living off of him because she didn't have a job. So without him, after she killed him, she was gonna end up on the street. You know, more than likely. So she's better off in jail getting 3 meals a day. Is it 3 meals? I think it is. It's crazy work, bro. It's crazy, crazy work. Anyway, man, like the video, man. Subscribe if you're new. We watching videos like this to learn from it. What did I learn from this video? If I ever come into some money like that, I ain't telling nobody. The only person that's gonna know, I mean, obviously, if it's like an inheritance, But if it was inheritance, I don't think I have any rich uncles. But if it wasn't inheritance, the only person that would know that I'm getting this money is the person who's giving it to me. You know? And obviously, if I'm working hard and I start making that hella money, like hella money, I start making millions. I mean, people will see that I'm doing better. Right? They'll notice that I'm living more comfortably, but they ain't gonna know exactly like how much is coming in. Like, no, that's not how you do things. Cause all you're doing is just making yourself a target. So that's what I learned from this video. You know what I mean? Sometimes it be your own people, bro. It was his own wife, fiance. Sometimes it be your own people, bro. So you gotta be careful, man. Take care of yourselves, man. Don't put yourself in vulnerable situations. And look at this right here. Down here it says, look at this. Look at this. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches and brokers. Shoot. Okay, this is for the sponsor. But this works well with this video. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable with people, trusting them with information that could get you hurt. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, just be careful out there, man. Just be careful out there.